first marketing officer for Mercator Ocean International and member of the Copernicus Marine training team. I would like to welcome you for this debriefing session dedicated to the Copernicus Marine Training Workshop for the Mediterranean Sea. First, I'm speaking on behalf of Fabrice Messal, the main organizer of this meeting. Unfortunately, he won't be able to attend this meeting. He's on recovery after a bike fall. Nothing very important, no worries. So hopefully he will be online with us for next week session. I would like one more time to apologize concerning the problem we encountered with the Jupiter access and the credentials. I hope the problem is solved for everyone now. On the other hand, note that the access to the Jupiter Hub and the notebooks, especially dedicated for this training session, will be available for 1 year. So you will have plenty of time to practice. No worries about that. Okay. You have access to all the tutorial video we edited, especially for this meeting. And moreover, you have at your disposal the user support for Copernicus service and the chat platform. So no worries of that. You have plenty of time to practice. Okay, for today's agenda, this debriefing session, we're gonna begin with question related to our website. Okay, question related maybe to registration, blocking point to extraction or visualization of Copernicus marine data. Elena Di Medio, our user support expert, will be happy to answer all your questions. Then we will talk about blocking points concerning Copernicus Marine in-situ products with our experts Paz Rotllan Garcia from SOCIB and Maria Sotiropoulou. And to finish, we will talk about satellite product with Vittorio Brando, our expert in ocean color products, and Bruno Buongiorno Nardelli and Andrea Pisano for SST Products. So how it works, for each part of this session, we chose first the 3 or 4 most relevant questions you asked during the webinar session of last week. Our expert will come back to this question and give more detail in their answers. And at the same time, you have the chat at your disposal to ask live your question. So don't hesitate to ask your question live. This session is done for that. Okay. Don't forget to add the question mark, the blue question mark, in order our moderator Paola Agostini to be able to choose the most relevant question and display it on the main screen. I hope I was clear for you. Leave the floor to our moderator Paola, and she will introduce our first expert, Elena Di Medio. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Vincent, and good morning, everyone, also from me. I'm happy to see you all again and reconnected to this debriefing session. So we hope you had the time during these past few days after last Friday to have practice on the notebooks we have provided to you regarding the products Vincent mentioned before. So we are going to start with the questions about the general use of the Copernicus Marine Service with Elena Di Medio that you see on the screen. She's part of the Marine User Support of the Mercator Ocean International. So she will reply some of the questions about the general website use. So I go on with the first question. As Vincent said, we are going to analyze some of the questions you already asked in the first webinar. So in order to warm up a little bit, then we are looking forward to other questions on the chat, as you have done again in the previous webinar. Okay, so I start with the first question for Elena. And the question was if the models that are we have seen in the webinar or last Friday are applicable only for the Mad Sea, or if they can be extended to study also other seas like the Indian Ocean.
So, yes, good morning all. Good morning everyone. Thank you for participating to this training. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, the Copernicus Marine Service provides marine data for 6 European basins. So for this training, for example, we concentrated on the Med Sea, but we have also global ocean data. So actually you can find information for the Indian Ocean, the Pacific one, or also the Atlantic Ocean. Every part of the globe are covered by it. So no problem for that. The geographical area is not a problem for your data.
Okay, thank you, Elena, for this first reply. We pass to the second question. It was how is possible to ask for more complicated subsetting? For example, if I would like to ask for data from June to August for the years 1997 to 2016, and in order to avoid to ask the same subset for every year.
Yes, unfortunately, this is one of the problems we are working on, because it's still not possible to download data for a long temporal coverage. Like if, for example, here it's almost 20 years. It's too much for the server to compile the file, no matter actually the final size of the file. So if you need a request which take into account some particular criteria, like for example a small geographical area, the fastest way is to contact the service desk, and we will provide it to you. We will download it and send you the file. Or if you don't need any kind of criteria to take into account, the fastest way is to pass via the FTP link, because you just need to drag and drop the file and you will have it without problems. Unfortunately, it's not possible for the moment.
Okay, so for the next future.
We are working on it, so yes.
Or the far future. Okay, thank you again. The third question, is it preferable to use the download data from R or from Python, which is the direct path?
As you saw during the training, and if you already start to download data, the code are mostly developed in Python, just because we use more Python. So we presented that, but of course you can use another language. The most common, yes, is R in this case. And if you need some help, we are here to help you. We are working on it, so if you have also suggestions, please let us know. But for the moment, you have to find the fastest way is to find a command in R which allows to use the Python script. If the fastest way, or otherwise you have to write your personal script in R.
Okay, thank you. Now, are there other questions? Yeah, other questions. So, is there a clean method for extracting data related to cost from NetCDF files?
You can download the NetCDF file from the web, so from our service, from the web portal, without already doing the subset of your file. So as you saw in the training, or you can. I mean, you have to select the data with you need. For example, it can be a satellite one or a model if you need forecast. And after you can also make just your process code for the data once the data is already downloaded. Is that, I don't know if it's clear enough.
Yeah. So if Marbati is online, maybe we can ask the details.
Yeah, it depends on what you need to as data. So it's always depending on the need of the user.
Sure. Okay, thank you. In the meantime, I saw that there are questions also on the chat, but I invite still to write others because I arrived to the last question that was already posed. Oh, no, that was the last one. Sorry.
That was the last one.
Yeah, that was the last one. So I probably will start going with the new questions. I've published the first one, which is this one. I'm not sure if we can do it right now, but can you show a script to generate the GeoTIFF files in the out folder? Thanks.
For the generate GeoTIFF files, there is a FAQ a technical FAQ in the website where we explain how to generate this kind of script or to convert a netcdf in a GeoTIFF. So now it's a bit difficult to answer to that, to show you a script in direct. But you can check on the technical FAQ in the website. If you don't find it, you send an email to Copernicus, to the service desk, and we are here working on it. So we are going to help you, to send you the script or to help you to find information.
Okay, yeah. So another question is, yeah, this one. On which side I find the archived data, wave height and wind force from Sentinel-3?
Sentinel-3, there are some products that provide it. I don't remember, depending on what you are looking for, but there are for sure products about that. If you need data that are not available neither by FTP, you have to send us an email because you have to contact the producer team and ask for a connection to the folder for you. So in this case, if you need new data, you have to contact us directly.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of the products that you will see later on may have the use of the Sentinel-3 data.
Yeah, for now like this, I don't know because there are a lot of products.
It's too general to know. Okay.
But it's simple to find.
Okay, another one. This is quite a complex question, I guess, but what is the most efficient method to process the data?
It depends on what process the data you mean. To download, for me, it's a personal advice. It's using the Motu service. So if you have a script, you put the download in the script, and after the data is downloaded, you just work on it. It depends on what you need to do. Like this, it's a bit too much general as a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
so maybe.
Sorry.
And I was saying that maybe if Marbati, sorry for the pronunciation, wants to give some more details, maybe we can reply.
Yeah, reply more information.
Yeah, with some more information about what kind of data and why he wants to process them. Okay. Okay. There are other questions. I mean, I'm not sure it's actually for you to reply because they look as more about the other products. Yeah. So, well, I tried with this one, but I keep this one also for the next presentation. I don't know if Elena knows about the variable measure by each buoy.
Why, like this, I don't know which variable can.
Keep it
is
for
it? Unfortunately, I don't know all the products in the detail.
Sure.
However, if you have question, I can reply in the answer and question. I mean, in the chat. So during the other presentation, if you have more questions on the moment, you just write it, and if I can, I will reply on it.
Yeah. I think I do not see other general questions for you. So if there is any other question about the use of the Copernicus marine service, not specifically related to products, but if you need any other kind of information.
In any case, we are always active to answer to your questions. So you just send an email, and we are here working on it. So we are going to help you in the fastest way and the better way, the best way possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I still give some time for typing so that you can have some few other questions. Okay, there is one. Maybe this one.
Okay.
Yeah. No, sorry. It wasn't this one.
Yes.
Sorry. I changed. I will come to this, but there was this one. Maybe if can we use FTP to download the data? What is the path to access in-situ wind data?
In-situ wind data. You have to. The fastest way to find it is to go on the product page in the service desk's web portal. You choose your in-situ data. Once you have more information, the icon more information that you saw, you go in the service folder in the service shift, and you have the FTP down in the page, and you click on it, and a new page will open where you have the access to all this data with your Siemens credential. And up, it's a web page, so up you will have the link of your data. And once you click on it, and you have all the data that you can download.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I think that if there are no other general questions, let me check. Yeah, I mean the experts are also replying about the same questions. So
yeah, I'm seeing.
they are okay. And then, well, then I will go to the other question. This one. And just to remind everybody that if you have any problem about the credential for the Jupyter Hub, you have to send an email to training Siemens, and they will solve all the issues you may have. Oh, there is another question for you. So I skip the other one. Question for Elena. Is there a WMS MS service link to the data?
Yes, there is. I think that it is available for all products, but I'm not sure about this information. Anyway, as the FTP, you choose your product, you go in the more info section, and in the service shift, you have all the list of WMS, the direct get file, subsetter, and FTP. You click on it, and you will direct it to the link. You can copy and use it where you need. So yes, it is available.
Okay. Okay. I see someone typing this. So yeah. Here is the question. What type of service is CSW? In which format is possible to convert? and T for others.
I'm not sure how to answer to this question. You can convert it in. You have just to find the better way to convert it. So it is possible to convert in T for whatever you need. The CSWV, I'm not sure about that. So for now, at the moment, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. But if you need, you can send me an email. I will answer you in a better way once I will do my investigation, because like that I'm a bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
Okay.
question,
No problem. Actually, again, some experts are not replying on the chat. So. But in any case, yes. I mean, more details may come in the next days for the questions. Okay. I do not see any other question for Elena. Just to wait a couple of minutes more in case for other questions. There is someone typing this. I'm waiting. Yeah, just 1 minute more. In the meantime, also start thinking about that other questions. Okay. Well, maybe the question is not for you to answer. I think it's more technical. I mean, it's about tracking shellfish and algorithms. So I think it's not exactly for you. So yeah. Well, I think if there are no other questions, maybe we can proceed to the other section.
Okay.
Yeah, it's look. Yeah, everything is not moving, so I think we are fine. So thank you, Elena, for all the replies. Oh, okay. There is a one, but we will keep it for the. I mean, I don't know if you know, because the question is if there is a difference between old and new ECNWF data. And I think, again, it's a quite specific question.
I think it's too specific for me. I mean, I cannot answer like that without doing the investigation, because I don't know, I don't have the information.
Yeah, so once again, we invite all of you participants to write to the service desk even the same questions, so that they will have time to give you a very full reply and I mean, tuned to your specific request. Okay. I think we are, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so again, thank you, Elena.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. So we pass now to the second part of the training. So as you know, sorry, of the debriefing session. And as you know, it's about the in-situ products. So also some questions before were already posed to this part of the products of the Copernicus Marine Service. Our experts that are available here for you are Maria Sotiropoulou. You already met on Friday's webinar when presenting the products, the in-situ products. And the second expert is Rotllan Garcia, who developed the notebooks you have been practicing in the past days about in-situ products. So while you type your specific questions about in-situ products in the chat, probably because you have make the exercises on the notebooks, I'm going to start up with some of the questions which were already posed in the Friday webinar. So we start warming up also for this part, and then we will select some of the questions on the chart of today. Okay, so I go with the first one, and that was about the REP data if are not historical, because, for example, chlorophyll is from 2018. So,
okay, I am answering this one. This question was addressed, I think, while I was presenting a slide about the latest additions in the in-situ products. And there were some dates there that were describing parameters. These dates refer to when these parameters were included officially in the respective in-situ products. So, for example, chlorophyll starting being available in the repository since 2018, but the data that are provided are historical. So it's not that they're started, the dataset starts since 2018 and on, but we started applying quality control and officially distributed these parameters in our products.
okay. Okay, thank you, Maria. Then I pass to a second question, which is about the depth quality estimation or assessment.
Okay, this one is also for me. We have two main families, as I was presenting the previous Friday, the near real-time in-situ products and the reprocessed products. In the near real-time products, since we have to upload the data as soon as possible, since they are near real-time, we have implemented some algorithms that are passing near real-time processes on the parameters and deriving these quality flags. And these algorithms have some general outliers in order to have a fast outcome and be able to provide the data as soon as possible to the users. On the other side, we have the reprocessed products, which include top of the near real-time quality control, more sophisticated algorithms, as well as some visual inspection by expert scientific personnel that are providing information and a flag on the data, taking into consideration some phenomena that could happen around areas and periods of time. So the reprocessed data have this delayed mode quality control on top compared to the near real-time products. So
Okay.
the answer basically is the near real-time is have the automatic processes. The reprocessed data have also some additional assessment of the data.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's quite clear. Then, is the wave data coming from voice observation or from radar?
This I can answer this one. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Yes. So, okay. Right now, the data regarding waves is coming from voice observations. You can find these observations in near real-time products and also in reprocessed products. We have wave reprocessed products showing this data. And regarding radar, we are mostly focused right now in providing currents data, but it's on the roadmap to produce wave observation also from HF radar, but this is not coming in the short term.
Okay. Okay. Then, that was the last one, the last question. Then I will pass the question to the one of today. And actually, there was one before about the buoys, so maybe you can answer this as well. If there is an overview about the variable measured by each buoy, or have I look one by one what variables is available for each buoy?
Maria, do you want to reply or do I?
You replied also in the messages, so...
Yes, okay. So for in each of the in-situ products, like the one in the Mediterranean, we are providing an index of platforms called like that, index underscore platform txt file. And inside you can find one line per platform with the platform code and also some interesting metadata like the parameters that this platform is providing. So you have there the full list of parameters that a given platform is providing. And you can check there the parameters that each buoy integrated in the products are providing.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I invite the experts, I invite the participants to type new questions in the chat. For the moment, let me see if there is any.
There was one, Paola, about winds.
Yeah,
that I also replied, but it was I can't read it. Yes, can we use FTP to download the data? What is the path to access in-situ wind data?
Yeah,
so,
I found it. This one. Yeah.
Yes. So we have some weather stations also integrated in the product, and with the notebook number 2, the material we have provided for the training, you can I show you how to subset the product to only download, for example, files containing a certain parameter. And in this case, it's a matter of, that you set a parameter relative to wind to actually trigger the FTP download of the files containing wind data in the product. So I invite this person to run the examples and to choose the wind parameters and see how everything operates.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, there are a couple of questions. I'm not sure for you, but I try. For you, I mean, for both of you. If I have values in a data set that are like 3 standard deviations higher than the average, how do I consider the data, right or wrong?
Do you want to reply, Maria, or do I?
Out of my scope of expertise, so I'm not very sure if I will correctly answer this one. So
I will just suggest that you check the quality flags just in case you haven't. We are flagging the data as good or bad or probably good. And every parameter has like a twin variable called underscore QC. And this is the one you have to check to keep only the good data. Probably this will discard situations like the one you point out.
Okay, thank you, Pats. Okay, I'll go with this one. Could any data provider share observational data to be distributed to CMMs of the Copernicus Marine Service? How are data providers acknowledged?
Okay, I will answer this one. Any data provider can come in contact with us, and since they have their data, they can share them with us, and we are we have this possibility to format them into the NetCDF files and apply all the quality controls that are and homogenize this data, and then distribute them into Copernicus Marine Service. And so basically the main task is to contact us, and after this the process is very fast. And regarding the acknowledgement of the data providers in the NetCDF files, We have global attributes, metadata that follow the data regarding the data provider. So we have information about the institution of origin, the principal investigator in charge of the platforms, reference to links that data provided by the provider as well, and also inside the citation that including the fact and to use when the data are cited. Apart from the citation that is provided in terms of Copernicus, we give the capability to the data providers to add a citation regarding their part of acknowledgement as well.
Okay, thank you, Maria. I invite the participants to ask question. Okay, but especially about the notebook. So, how did you find the in-situ products notebooks exercise? Maybe you can share with us some of your, results. In terms of how did you find the exercises? That's a good time to share your comments with us. Also, in order to maybe to improve for the next generation of trainings. Okay, let's see if there are other questions. There is one question about satellite, but it's for the next presenters. So maybe this one. How can I access the metadata for vessels data? I could not find this.
This information is also included into the NetCDF file. So if you have in mind of a particular vessel, you can also access in the index files and find these platforms by the platform code. And most of the vessels are providing either time series or profiles, but they also have a specific data type. For example, they could be XBTs or CTDs. So in the naming of the file, they will also find the PR, XB, or CT, depending on the data type that they have been recording as data. So the best way is to access the index files and check the data that they are interested in. So inside the NetCDF files, then they can find also the metadata, all the metadata regarding the specific vessel. I'm not sure if I'm answering the exact question of Marta.
Yeah, in case Marta, you can ask a few more details, but I'm looking at the chat. Actually, there was Marta replied, yes, thanks, we will look for that. So that was enough for your reply. There was, I was looking and there was a comment by about the notebook. I don't know if Patsy would like to reply to this or if it's too complex for replying.
No.
And then, okay. So because the question was about the yeah, let me check. It's not really a question. Anyway, it was about the jet index files.
Yeah, so that function, yes. The only way this function cannot work is either because the user and password is wrong. So maybe you have to request a new one. This can happen, or because the FTP is the service is forbidden somehow. So, for example, this happens if you work with the network of an official institution. This institution may have some kind of firewall preventing you to use FTP downloads, to trigger FTP downloads. So I will check this, the connection you are using, or your user and password. This is typically the problem. Otherwise, it should work properly.
Okay, Okay, thank you, Pat. I think we reply to the questions about in situ with just a couple of minutes more in order.
There is one from Valerie, no? But I guess this applies to any notebook. She's wondering if she can download. Download the notebook. So actually you can. There is like a button at the top of the notebook where you can select download the notebook, and afterwards you can run it on your machine. But you will need to install all the packages that you are importing at the beginning of the notebook. So it's a matter of installing first the necessary packages, and then you will be able to run the notebook that you have downloaded.
Okay. But the Silva, which was the person asking the question about the notebook before, has also posted this other one. Is the FTP host NRT CMEMS do EU?
Yes, Bas, this is the near real-time FTP server where all the near real-time products are hosted, and it's the one we are aiming for the Mediterranean near real-time product. So that's okay. The problem is your connection, your internet connection, that might have some kind of firewall preventing you to perform downloads. So this is the part you have to check. The host is okay.
Yeah, it just replied that it's at home, but I guess that even at home your computer may have some firewalls installed that you may check. So just to let you know, that was his reply. But yeah, so I guess as Pat said, you need to check.
Bas da Silva, can you write me to the chat dedicated to the notebooks, and we can iterate to see what's the problem. I don't know if then is a problem with the credential, but we can have a look at this in the chat. There is no problem. I'm online most of the time, and I have set up also some notifications. So just write me through there, and we can check what's your particular problem.
Yeah, he replied okay, so you will be in contact with him or her. Actually, I'm not sure, but okay.
No problem.
Good. Thank you. Is there any other question for the in situ products? There is a person typing, so I'll wait a few minutes more before passing in case to the other session. You can have general questions or again questions about the notebook itself. As Vincent said, you will have access to the notebooks for a longer period, so you can still practice. And up to July 16th, the chat will be available even after, I think. And so you may still pose other questions, but this is the live opportunity to have the experts with you. So if there is any other, okay, there is one. From which main data providers you get BGC data, which I guess are biogeochemical data?
At the moment, it's not a particular data provider. It's whoever is recording biogeochemical data and with their platforms. For example, there are buoys that are XBT stations that are providing biogeochemical data, and also some vessel data. So all these data are included into the in situ repository. Path, I don't know if you have something else to add on that.
No, it works like that.
Okay. Yeah, anything else anymore? Okay, let's see. Okay, there was a question about contacting the experts. So yes, as we said, the chat will be open, so you may still talk with the experts to the chat, the Mattermost chat, in order to solve maybe problems that you may have with the notebooks. Okay, there is maybe another one. This one. What multi-decadal series are available?
I'm not sure what multi-decadal.
Yeah. If Conversi would like to give some more details.
Is it if we have multi-decades of time series of historical or something else? Some clarification on the question. Yeah. Someone of the experts might answer, might be okay.
Okay, so he replied by satellites, so we can leave this for the next presentation in case. Yeah. Okay, I give just one more minute in case there is any other question for the in-situ products.
In general, to say everyone can send their questions to the service desk of CMEMS, and we are there to answer all the questions. So even after the Mattermost chat closes, we are available to answer all the questions.
Yeah. Okay. There is a person typing, so I just wait for the last message in case it is addressed to you. Otherwise, we pass on. Yeah. Well, I think we can stop for the in-situ products. So, in case there are other questions, you may follow it on the chat, and you can still answer it in the next few minutes. And so I thank very much Maria and Paz for the participation to this training on Friday, and the preparation of the notebooks, and on today for answering all the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paula. And thank you to all the users.
Of course. Yeah, we have 200 people connected, so we still have a big audience to follow us. Okay. So now we pass to the last debriefing session of today. It is a double session in a way, because as you have seen last Friday, the satellite observation products have two components. So one is the ocean color and the other one is the SST. So today you will meet again with the experts, Vittorio Brando for the part of the ocean color, and Bruno for the part of the SST. And they are all researchers at the National Research Council of Italy. So I will, as we have done for the previous sessions, go through some of the questions posed on Friday. And in the meantime, you have the possibility to write other questions in the chat for them. Okay. I start with the part about the ocean products. The ocean color, products. there were different questions. Since Vittorio has prepared a few slides, I'm going to read all the questions now for Vittorio, and then I will pass to the Vittorio's presentation, and he will give you more explanation. Okay. Wait, I lost the question. So one of the question was what percentage of difference between global algorithm OC4 and the regional MED algorithm? If lot, what makes the difference? Again, algorithms was what is the most useful chlorophyll algorithm? There was a question about the cloud filling method, and no, that was it. So those were some of the questions on Friday. Now I leave the floor to Vittorio to reply with his own presentation that is arriving.
Thank you.
And again, in the meantime, you can address other questions to Vittorio about the the ocean color products in the chat.
Okay, so thanks everyone for the questions, and I just had a few of the slides I presented last week because there were several details. So there was another question which was asked by several people, and I used the opportunity. A few people could not understand the differences between level 3 and level 4 in all of the CMEMs, but in particular they were asked to me. And so level 3 products are daily composite products being single or multi-sensors, while level 4 products are either daily interpolated or daily cloud filled or weekly and monthly composites. So that's the first clarification which was asked by some of you during the last week. Second question was about, there were a couple of questions about the algorithms and why do we need to have regional algorithms for the Mediterranean Sea. Now, if you look carefully, you're gonna see that there is a faint blue line which goes above all the data cloud of red dots. The red dots are all our in-situ observation. The faint blue line is the standard ocean color algorithm, while the black line is the regional algorithm, which was developed by my colleague Gianluca Volpe. So the reason for this is that the Mediterranean Sea is greener than the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean, where the NASA standard algorithm for chlorophyll retrieval was defined. So because of that, already in 2007, Gianluca and colleagues showed that NASA standard algorithm, so the standard CWIFS OC4, is can be up to 100%, can overestimate up to 100% the estimate of chlorophyll. Hence, there is this regional algorithm which fits through the data to give the best concentration possible. Still, there is a spread as you see, so we have a residual error around 30 to 40% in our accuracy. All the latest information is in our quality information document, where the references to these papers can be found. Second question was about the cloud filling. So the cloud filling method. That work is for the ocean color, to the derivation from level 3 over level 4 for the Mediterranean Sea in CMEMS is described by another paper by my colleague Gianluca Volpe et al. 2018, and that's based on DINO-F. DINO-F is an empirical orthogonal function based method to fill in missing data from geophysical field, and is based mainly on the work by Aida Alvera Ascarate, published in 2005, and so that's a method that that is publicly available if people want to implement themselves on other analysis. And then this method uses the EOF plus a smoothing procedure to to generate the level 4 fields. Important point to make again, as I made last time, is that the increasing coverage due to the cloud filling does not lead to degradation in accuracy as part of the cloud filling exercise. So these were my answer. I thought was going to be easier if I added some more details. Then I saw a couple of questions. There was a question earlier that I didn't copy. No, I cannot find. I didn't copy it, and it disappeared because it was asked during the. Okay, for satellite observation data of chlorophyll, is there a processed product of the missing data, for example, because of cloud covering just and not a number data, or there is a process of filling gap with some algorithms? The answer to this is, if it's a level for the reprocessed data, we present only the level 3s, so there is no cloud filling, and the monthly averages. So that's the answer for the reprocessed product that was asked by Agri. Then Gerardo asked, are level 3, level 4 already orthorectified, and do they show top of atmosphere values or reflectances? As I stated, the daily composite products are already remapped on a common grid, so they are rectified. And we do have the chlorophyll concentration product and the optics products. In the optics products, we provide the reflectances. We apply the reflectances. Other question by Reul. In the global mode, and the Mediterranean is calculated with global calibration or with specific algorithm for the Mediterranean. In the global products, indeed, it will be a global algorithms. So that's exactly the reason why CMEMS produces the regional the products at regional level. Each of the different products are each of the different regions is calculated with its own appropriate regional algorithms. If applications are needed for whole European coastal waters, we also produce a chlorophyll field for the whole of European seas that's called EUR. Magri, is the NOF procedure applied also for KD 490 product? No, we don't apply the cloud filling procedure to the KD in near real time. And then Francesca Grossi, are there some data algorithms which represents a bloom chlorophyll in the Med Sea? If there is not, which is the best way to study the phenomenon? I'm not sure what this means. Francesca, our product presents the retrieval of chlorophyll, so it's the concentration of chlorophyll. If the question is whether we identify blooms in the atoll, that's something that depends a lot on. There are a lot of several methods to define a bloom. No, often a bloom can be identified statistically. So bloom can be identified as such if it's the concentration is 10% or 20% higher than the median of the year of the or a climatological value and so forth. So or if it's higher than the 75th or 95th percentile for a region. So it really depends on the scientific questions. There is a lot of literature how to identify blooms once you have the chlorophyll concentration. I'm not sure I addressed adequately your question. So let's see, are there sea surface irradiance variable available? Again, we serve remote sensing reflectance. Remote sensing reflectance, that is a similar. That's the product that we serve, which is the standard in the standard product in the processing community. Gerardo, what kind of smoothing procedures? I do need to refer you to read that paper. It's a very convoluted process, and I'm not able to summarize it in a few words. Then there is a question in French, and I'm not even trying to read in French because my French is terrible. Is it possible to use
Satellite data.
Satellite data for wind? No, I know nothing of wind. I'm sorry. The wind expert. I don't know what the wind situation is for the Mediterranean. I'm very sorry. So no, I'm sorry. I cannot be of any help. And I think I captured all the questions.
Yeah, actually, you took my job. So you ask your questions and you reply.
Sorry, I thought I was.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
I mean,
yes.
it was faster. So if there is any other question about the OC product.
Okay, sorry. There was a one question by Anna I saw now is if the med is greener than other places. It's what does it mean? Is that given the same concentration of chlorophyll, the color of the water in Mediterranean is slightly greener. The spectrum of the color of the water is slightly greener, and that's because there is slightly more dissolved organic matter in the water. It's one of those. Each of the basins are slightly different in color. So the blue of the Mediterranean Sea has a greener tinge than not the blue that you observe in the Pacific or in the Atlantic. That's in lay term.
Yeah. Okay. Someone is typing, and in the meantime, I invite also to write the questions about the notebook exercises. If there was anything about the ocean color products exercises that you would like to be clarified or more details. So that's the opportunity to ask questions. I leave 2 minutes for the person who is writing. So, any other question? Is there any other curiosity? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to publish this. So, do you think that if I retrieve chlorophyll data in the coast of Israel, I should change the parameters because are oligotrophic waters?
I would say that no, because if I change mind, can I get my presentations back? I just said that I didn't want it, but I was. But no, I don't have the data. I don't have the plot I needed to show. We do encompass. There is validation data for the Levantine basin in the as part of the validation of the product. So it should work across the whole basin. The algorithms. Then if you really feel the need for a very, very localized performance of your algorithms, you should tune it yourself. But then you have to have enough data points to be able to tune the OC4 adequately for your region. Hope it makes sense.
Okay. Thank you, Vittorio. Actually, Gerardo is also typing as well, but I don't know if for another question also say thank you. Any other questions?
Okay, it was a thanks. Okay, so
Thanks.
means it made
That was-
sense.
yeah. So you replied correctly as it was
Okay.
expected. Okay. Good. Okay, there is another question. Can you suggest any specific algorithm to study algal bloom at the global level, though?
Okay, at the global levels, there are a series of reviews and papers on algal bloom detection, and I wish I was so fast to remember them while I talk. I need a second because I need to find it in a paper that I used at reference. So I know that Maritorena et al. Are the threshold method to detect the blooms. No, I can't. No, sorry. Give me a couple of. I'll be silent for 15 seconds just because I need to find the reference very quickly. So what I'll do is.
You can also
Yes, I'll type the reference in the chat.
So that they will be available.
So I think I will say hello to everyone. Leave the floor to Paola for my SST colleagues. In the meanwhile, I look for those couple of references and I type them in the chat.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Vittorio.
Thank
Actually,
you.
there is a question. Maybe that's the question. Well, I don't know if it's the same.
The last one, Raul. I answered and provided the reference to the differentiation of alkyl group in the chat. So I guess those questions will be uploaded yesterday, so will be uploaded very soon. So you will find the reference to the method. And again, in our quality information document, which you find a link also in the Python notebook, there is a section that summarizes the method and provides the references. So that's the way, anyways, to find information on the literature we used. Thanks a lot to everyone.
Thank you, Vittorio.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Ciao. So we pass to the SST products. Bruno is here to answer your question.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Okay, so we start with some of the questions again from last Friday, and then we wait for new questions in the chat. So one of the questions was why the MED SST starts in 93 and not in 81?
Well, actually, the answer is that the MED SST reprocessed dataset actually starts from 1981. So the data available on the catalog, they start from 1981. And maybe Alessandra Conversi is referring to the analysis that has been produced to cover the long-term changes in the SST within the ocean state report that has been published over the years, that is limited to the period between 93 and the most recent years. But that was a choice related to having a consistent analysis covering different data sets. So that's the period where you also have altimetry and also previous global reanalysis were not covering the full period. So that's not related to the data, actually. The data, they start from 1981. They've been very recently updated a couple of days ago. There's the new reprocessed dataset that is based now on ESA CCI level 2 data in input. So it's more accurate than the previous one, and it is covering the full period. So that's an easy answer. I hope it clears. Okay. It's clear enough.
Okay, thank you. So another one was how are you integrating 1627 days temporal resolution of satellite data on Sentinel-3A and B with daily SST products?
Yeah, well, I think this question is probably originating from a slight misconception of what Sentinel-3A and B, or better, SLSTR sensors on board Sentinel-3A and B are providing, because the 16 and 17 and 27 days is not the temporal resolution, that's the orbital cycle repetition rate. But the sensors we are talking about, they are imaging. It means they cover a wide portion of the surface of the Earth and underneath. So basically, we have a daily coverage at pixel level over the MED, of course, where you don't have clouds, because we are talking about infrared measurements. So the Sentinel-3 data, they are integrated daily in the super-collated level 3S dataset, and then used in input for the level 4 as well. I hope this is clear enough again.
Okay, thank you, Bruno. And the last was in MED L4 REP with the SST field. Are there fields in 2D giving information about the data availability to process the current SST and the cloud occurrence?
So that's more than one question in one, I'm afraid, and maybe there's not an easy answer. I mean, the easy answer would be that there's no true information about cloud occurrence per se, because this is only level 4 data. We are not providing the level 3 data that have been used to generate this level 4 rep. But there's information about, I mean, there's a specific variable within the level 4 data, which is called analysis error, which is integrating the information about how many data actually entered the analysis. That's not trivially related to clouds only, because of course it depends also on the number of sensors that have been collated, and even it is not easy to associate the error to clouds occurred in one specific day, because the level 4 algorithm we are applying, it's a space-time interpolation. So we collect data over a temporal window and within, let's say, a spatial search radius. These data, they are transformed into anomalies with respect to a background field, and then they are linearly combined, weighting them directly with their correlation to the interpolation point, and inversely to their cross correlation. So how many data coming from just one single region, for example, are present with respect to isolated data. These cannot be weighted in the same way, because the ones that come from the same region and are very close, they are all cross-correlated, and they should weight less. And of course, in this process, we also account for errors. So in the end, we provide an error field, which is giving some hints on how many information actually entered the analysis, but we are not providing true information on cloud occurrence. I hope, again, it was clear. That's a complicated processing chain, and more details on both the cloud detection and handling and interpolation can be found in the quality information document, which you can download from the notebook, for example, or even better, directly from the reference paper that are provided there and in the online catalog as well.
Okay, thank you, Bruno. And that was it for the previous question, let's say. So now going to the questions live on the chat. Okay, there is this one. Oh, let me first go. Okay, that was an old one. This one, actually, I do not understand the question, so I'm not sure that this refers to your products or not. So
Well, this could apply both to Ocean Color and SST for sure,
Okay.
but I think that the answer is also common for the two thematic assembly centers, and the answer is that we are not providing presently specific analysis of the fronts, there's not detection products which might, by the way, be set up as downstream services. It might be that some users are providing this, but I'm not aware of this, and this is not part of our duties within the service, let's say, at present. Okay. Of course, if then many users come out asking for evolutions, this may be discussed for the future services.
Okay, thank you. There is this question. Can we use L2, 3, and 4 for baroclinic condition of modeling?
So that's again not such an easy question to answer, even because it is not sure for myself what is meant by baroclinic condition of modeling. I guess that's related to I would interpret the question as which products is better to assimilate in a numerical model, and then the answer is not easy because it depends on the algorithm that is used for the assimilation. And I would say that level 2 they might not be particularly useful because level 2 they provide measurements from individual sensors, which means that if you have more than one sensor in your processing chain, you're not correcting for eventual biases. So that's a source of problems when you have to run an assimilation. Level 3 data, it depends on the level 3 because there's level 3C, which are the collated data. It means they come from one sensor again, but they're mapped on a regular grid, so they might be used. But again, there's no intersensor bias correction. Level 3S, it's the super collated. These ones, they are corrected for biases between sensors with different algorithms depending on the product you're looking at. So for example, for the Mediterranean, this is done by selecting a reference sensor and iteratively adjusting all the others to this one. And level 3, they have data gaps, so not all assimilation systems are able to, depending on how they are implemented, they might not be able to ingest them. On the other way around, the level 4, they provide data that are gap-free, so there's an estimate everywhere, but of course, this estimate might not be totally consistent with the dynamics that is resolved by the model. So it's not easy to answer this question. Each of the levels of the satellite datasets may have advantages and disadvantages. In principle, the raw data, they should be preferred because they don't include additional processing errors, but not all the assimilation systems are able to deal with the level 2, for example. I think very few of them. I don't think any of the Copernicus ones are able to deal with the level 2.
Okay.
Okay, so I think there's a related question just came out now.
Yeah, level 3 and this one. So SST Products. Sorry.
That's exactly the point. I mean, in the level 3 SST products, we provide the values of the SST that have been adjusted with respect to the reference sensor, meaning they are calibrated so that you don't see differences between different sensors, and this is the adjusted SST. But we also provide the original SST. So for each pixel, depending on which sensor provided the value for that particular pixel, you also get the original value. So you can check, and this is one of the exercises that has been proposed in the notebook, is to visualize the level 3S selecting in one plot the adjusted SST and then looking at the simple SST variable, and you will see that there's jumps if you and you may see the overlap of different passes of different sensors if you don't correct the bias. So for any scientific application, it is strongly suggested to use the adjusted SST, of course. That's the meaning of the level 3S. It's using correcting for intersensor biases.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? No, that was from Amangelos. That is clear. Thank you. You're just replied. Okay, any other question about the SST products? About the notebooks? Or we just mentioned the exercise. Any other comment? I leave a couple of minutes to write in the chat. As we said before, anyway, the experts may be available also for the other questions in the next days, and the answers to the webinar's questions of Friday will be provided to all the participants after the webinar, the training. Okay, there is a question about the error analysis for SST.
Yeah, I think this was covered by the previous question as well, one of the first ones. And as I said, the algorithm that is used for the interpolation, it's so-called optimal interpolation. It's a statistical interpolation algorithm, and well, in its true implementation, it can hardly be considered as optimal because there's a number of assumptions and approximations that need to be done to be able to use these in an operational chain. But this algorithm also provides an estimate of the interpolation error. And details on how this is done can be found in the quality information document. But that's a relatively standard technique based on papers by Bretherton and several papers in the literature. And you can find references in the quality information document and in the catalog as well. Okay. Or maybe, sorry, because maybe this is also related to the analysis of error intended as validation, because I was thinking about the interpolation error, but it is true that we also carry out an assessment, operational assessment of our data, and this is done by comparing with collocated in-situ measurements that are not used within the analysis itself. So this is fully independent observations. Of course, there's representativeness issues. I mean, of course, a drifter is not measuring the average SST over a grid that is 1 kilometer or 7 kilometer large. But anyway, you can find the numbers and the time series of the statistics, the several different metrics in the scientific assessment pages that are found on the CMEMS webpage. And again, all these things are also documented in the papers that describe the evolutions of the system.
Okay, thank you, Bruno. I think there are no other questions. I mean, just for you, but for all the other experts, a great comment about the notebook. So that's a recognition for all our experts that have prepared the notebooks. And so we are happy that you are using them and doing the exercises to get to know more the products available for the Copernicus Marine Service in the Mediterranean Sea. I think I do not see other questions specific for the SST. And so maybe we can stop here. Thank you, Bruno, anyway.
Thank you to the users and to the organizers.
Thank you. And so, yeah, Vincent is back. Yeah.
So I hope everything was clear for all the participants. We were more than 200 today for a debriefing session, and it's run very smoothly, and we are very happy of that. Concerning the credentials missing, I sent an email to the company responsible of that. You will have your credentials today. I thank you. Sorry, all the experts. You were very clear. Even for non-scientific, for me, I understood quite clearly what we were talking about. I introduced the next session next week. We have a debriefing session of physical products, bio model product, and wave products. And we will add a part on GIS tool products. So you will receive an invitation for this session just after this the end of this debriefing session. And I hope we will see you online next week. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, and start. I mean, if you haven't started, practice the notebooks related to the modeling parts, so that you will have a lot of questions next Thursday to the experts of the modeling components. And yeah, so thank you very much also from my side.
Thank you again. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.